Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Module 3 Financing Graduate School. In this module, we'll begin talking about some ways to finance your application process, finance some of the GRE costs, how to finance your graduate school in terms of tuition, and also find ways into obtaining money or getting money, getting paid while you're in graduate school through jobs such as teaching assistantships, graduate assistantships, and research assistantships. Uh, when in the application process, there are certain things that will take your time. Of course, we talk about the applications, we talk about the essays. It'll be very time consuming. Of course, when you're applying to 12 schools, it can be very time consuming. Not only that, but also it can be very expensive in terms of GRE costs, right? If you take that GRE more than once, the cost can add up. But we at the McNair office, the first GRE that you take, we can help you out financially. But after that, it's up to you, right? Applications. When you're applying to 12 schools, and let's just say the average is about $30 for application, that's about $360, if not more, because some applications can be $50, $40, $20. But on averaging, you may spend up to more than $400 just in application fees. But in this module, I'm going to talk about ways that you can get some of those applications fee waived, right? If you're requesting transcripts or postage sent applications. Now, the good thing is, though, most applications are all online, so you don't have to spend your money on postage. But, you never know if a graduate school wants things by snail mail. And of course, interviews. Say, for example, you're applying to the University of California, Los Angeles, UCLA, and the program that you're applying for, whether it's a PhD or master's, requires that you go for an interview. You're going to have to possibly, pay your way there if the school, of course, if the UCLA doesn't provide financial money for you to go there, right? You're going to have to pay your way to get there for the interview if the interview is mandatory required. Now, of course, the good thing with technology, the interview may not have to be face-to-face. It could be through Skype or through phone. But, if they want a face-to-face interview, that's going to have to come out of your pockets, right? And other inquiries might come in terms of the application process. So one of the first things, of course, is a GRE. Now, GRE preparation courses can be very expensive. For some like Kaplan and Princeton, very well-known preparation courses, they can run up to $1,400, if not more, right? That's when you have to take full advantage of the preparation that the McNair office offers you, right, through that GRE preparation course. Take full advantage. Go to the class, right? When I was a McNair scholar, one of the things that I regretted was not taking full advantage of the GRE preparation course and paying full attention to it. I paid heavy for it because I didn't do so well in my first GRE preparation, my first GRE exam. GRE, and I really did badly. And the GRE, the office, the McNair office only helps you for your first GRE exam, right? It only helps you financially with your first exam. After that, it's on your own. And I had to pay out of pocket for the next GRE exam, right? That was like at that time it was about $180 some, and that had to come out of my own pocket, right? So take full advantage of the GRE preparation course, right? Ask questions, stay late, come early, like do as much as you can with that preparation course, because that first GRE exam that you take, you better make sure that you do take full advantage and do very well so you don't have to take it again, because the next one will come out of your own pockets, right? Like I was just mentioning earlier, right? Some universities, it's $25, if not more. $25, 30, 40, some even 50. Like the big Ivy League schools, the big institutions, it's a $50 application. So say, for example, right, you're applying to, of the 12, six of them have a $50 application. That's $300 right there. And some schools don't even accept application fee waivers, right? I mean, that's just the thing. I mean, even though you're a McNair scholar, some of them may not, accept the McNair application fee waiver. So make sure you take full advantage of when you're taking the GRE. The good thing about the GRE is that when you're done with the exam, at the end, the GRE allows you to send up your scores up to 5 universities. make sure, and it's for free too, make sure that when you take the exam afterwards, you remember those 5 schools that are really expensive and they don't accept application fee waivers, that you put them there. Now, one thing I remember when I was taking the GRE at the end, I totally forgot the 5 schools that I needed to send it to. I only put 2 schools down because I forgot. So make sure that you do your good research, that when after you're done taking the exam, that you put the 5 schools or so that don't accept application fee waivers, so you can get that taken care of and save you some money, right? So, but again, if you don't feel like your score was high enough to get into those schools, or you just didn't feel good about it, then don't send the scores. Now, of course, here at the McNair office, many universities accept the McNair's application fee waiver. Look on the site. That's why when you're doing your portfolio for all your schools, one of the things you should see is the application fee waiver, if they accept the McNair application fee waiver. If you don't see it on the website, of course, feel free to email them. So, and of course, we will provide you that sheet, which looks like sort of like this, right? You come to the office. We'll give you this application fee request. You just have to put your name, of course, your undergraduate major, and your faculty mentor, and let the office know what university it is for. And of course, this will save you money. So, but don't be discouraged if a certain university does not accept the McNair Scholar fee, application fee waiver. Some of them just don't, and that's just, it may have to come out of your pocket, or remember to put that university in your GRE exam afterwards, where they say you can list up to 5 schools. Some universities, like I said, some universities are more picky about the fee waiver. Now, the Committee of Institutional Cooperation, it's basically a consortium of the Big Ten universities, and also including the University of Chicago. If you go to the website, it offers, you can request a graduate application fee waiver for PhD or Master of Fine Arts programs to those member universities, so like the University of Iowa, University of Illinois Urbana-Champaign, right? Those Big Ten schools, and that's all including University of Chicago, they do offer application fee waivers for graduate school. So look into that too. Now, of course, these ways to finance graduate schools working with inside the university. One of the great things about graduate school is that each department, right, has opportunities to work within the school, within the department. When you're an undergraduate, you have to go and look for a job. You may be stuck working at the bookstore or the cash register or something else. In some universities, some undergraduates are stuck working in the cafeteria and such. But of course, the good thing about graduate school is that you don't have to go work as a cash register if you don't want. You can work inside that department. And of course, you always want to talk to the faculty and the graduate college director, that if they can help out with any financial ways. And one of the big ways that you can ask the graduate college director is through assistantships. When I applied to graduate school at Oklahoma State University, one of the very first things that, of course, that I asked the graduate director was about assistantships, right? Once I got accepted, I said, okay, I didn't ask so much about paying for my college, because the Oklahoma State University has if you're a McNair scholar, you get a tuition waiver for both in and out of state tuition. So I was already taken care of as a McNair scholar with my tuition. I was just looking for extra income in terms of assistantships, because I had to do that on my own. And the first thing I asked my graduate director was assistantships. I was like, is there any types of assistantships, whether it's teaching or research assistantships, that you can offer, you can offer your graduate students? And of course, she said, well, we don't know so much about funding, so I'll put your name down. So one of the things that you have to realize is that when you're in graduate school, it's always a competition in terms of getting assistantships, right? Depending on the department, some departments are very limited as to the amount of resource they have for assistantships. That's just the way it goes, right? That's nothing you can control. That's why you should always email the graduate director like as soon as you get accepted about assistantships, right? Because so they can put you on the list. Um, so there are three types of assistantships. There's research, graduate, and teaching assistantships, right? A research assistantship is basically, of course, someone that helps out a professor with research, right? It can be a research for a journal article, for a research project. It could be else things, right? Some research assistantships include, right, helping out a professor do a survey or administering surveys for them. Um, Now, research assistantships for first year graduate students may be a little tough depending on the university, right? Most of the research assistantships go to graduate students. Let's say, for example, if they're in their master's programs, go to second year students. If it's a PhD program, they may go to someone in the second year or higher. So don't get discouraged in your first year. You don't get a research assistantship. Of course, you always want to emphasize that you're a McNair scholar, and of course, they'll know that, but you want to re-emphasize that you're a McNair scholar, that you have experience with research, that you've done this. But don't get discouraged if they don't give you a research assistantship your first year, because there may be other people ahead of you who have requested research assistantships, and they've proven themselves, whether it's through a mentoring program or else thing, or through their schoolwork, that they deserve a research assistantship. But always fight for that research assistantship. Graduate assistantship, some departments have it, or it's throughout the graduate college. Basically, a graduate assistantship is someone who works within a department or within the graduate college, during secretarial work or administrative work for a department or for the graduate college. No real focus on a research or a teaching assistantship, just kind of labor really. Um, a teaching assistant is someone that helps a professor with their teaching course. They can hold office hours for them. So you're basically helping the professor in a course, usually a 101 class, a 100 level class. You're helping out the professor with the grading. You're helping out the professor with attendance. You're helping the professor out with office hours if a student has questions. Um, and of course, there are some departments or some universities that after your first year of teaching the assistantship, if you've proven yourself that you're worthy of teaching your own course, you can be offered your own teaching course. That's what happened to me when I was at Oklahoma State University. The first year of graduate, the master's program in political science, your first year, right? You put your name down if you wanted to teach your own course your second year in the graduate program at the master's program. And of course, you had to go through a mentoring program your first year. And they also saw if you were very active in the department, whether it's attending meetings, attending talks. So they had to see that you were really involved with the department. And so I really did well in the mentoring program. I did well in classes, so you have to do really good in classes. So my second year, I started teaching my own sections of American government, and ever since that, I've been teaching American government now, also as an adjunct. So the teaching assistantship is really good. Now, if you're not the type of person that likes to go up in front of the class and teach, per se, or you still hesitate about public speaking, maybe research assistantship or a graduate assistantship may be for you. But take full advantage of the teaching assistantships, right? Of course, the McNair program, we're going to help you with the teaching assistantships, training you in teaching and learning issues during the fall. So take full advantage of them. Now, one thing that I do emphasize, when I was pursuing my master's in entrepreneurship at Oklahoma State, that entrepreneurship department had a PhD and a master's program, and of course, undergrad. If you are in a department that offers a PhD and you're in the master's program, you may get the bottom of the barrel, meaning that the research assistantships will go first to the PhD students. It's very hard for master's students. Now, this varies throughout colleges and universities, but for the most part, it may be a little tough if you're a master's student to get a research assistantship if there's a PhD program, because it will first go to the PhD students. So you may be stuck with, or you may have just a graduate assistantship or a teaching assistantship. But Don't get discouraged if, say, for example, you're in a master's program and there's a PhD program also in your department and you get stuck with a graduate assistantship. Don't get all, don't throw a tantrum or don't get mad, right? Your first year, you may have to work up to be the research assistant or the teaching assistant. You may have to work and prove yourself. So don't get discouraged. Just be very happy that you have an assistantship because believe me, they are very hard to get at times now, especially with a lot of departments facing cuts. And also, but on the upside, right, if you get an assistantship, if you get a assistantship, it also comes with helping pay for your tuition if your university doesn't have a McNair tuition waiver, right? So, it's a great thing if you get an assistantship because it does offer incentives such as tuition waiver. And who knows, you may have your own little office or a cubicle space, right? Then it'd be great to also study in there.